Hi, I'm Mr. Huber, and in this video I would like to show you how to draw a sine and a cosine curve onto a sheet. Well, first let's just talk about this once again. Well, you see, for every arc length you have one sine length, or one value for sine and one value for cosine. Well, you can switch on sine here. Well, you see this length is plotted over here at an arc length of 1.13. As you travel around your unit circle, your graph is going to look like this. Clear? It starts at 0, goes up to 1, goes down to 0, goes even further down to -1, and then it goes up to 0 again. So that will be one period length. So this is, one period length is 2 pi, well, one full rotation, and it is between 1 and -1. You can switch on the range. Radius is 1, so it's between 1 and -1, always. Same thing for cosine. Look, cosine starts here at 1. Let's switch on cosine. Cosine starts at 1. See, it starts at 1, and it goes down to 0, goes even further down to -1, it goes up to 0, and it goes even further up to 1. So that, now this is one period length of your sine curve, or of the graph, or cosine curve, sorry. One period length, but it would carry on over here, and it would have come from over here. So this is what these graphs look like. Now, how would you draw these manually? You would do it more or less like this. And let me just do it with a quick hand sketch. Here. We have to be able to do this with a hand sketch. It will not be perfect. It doesn't have to be. So let's say this is 1, this is -1. Well, if this is 1, then this is approximately pi, 3 times this length, so this will be 2 pi. And now you can draw your sine curve like this. As I said, it won't be perfect. It doesn't have to be. You have to be able to do this as a quick hand sketch. And well, it's always between 1 and -1, so it would go up to 1 again, and then it would go down to 0, and so on. And here, same thing. This is your sine function because it starts at 0. F of x is equal to sine. So this is sine of x. This is 1. This is -1. This is at pi. This is at 2 pi. One full rotation. It would carry on as you travel along the unit circle. Okay. This, the highest point is at pi halves. The lowest point is at 3 pi halves, -1 here. Well, for a cosine, you would do the same thing. You would draw some axis here. You would say this is 1, this is -1. Some horizontal lines, because these will give you the range. Then, well, if this is 1, this is approximately 3.14, 3 times this length, more or less, and this will be 2 pi. Now look, cosine will start at 1, will go through pi halves and 3 pi halves, so it will look somewhat like this. You know, smooth and rounded curve. Here we go. And obviously it would carry on over here like this, and it would have come from over here. Now look, this is pi, this is 2 pi, so this is one period length. One period length. You see, it's not perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be more or less right, okay? And the proportions have to be right. So this is pi halves, and this is 3 pi halves. Well, we tend to draw one period length only. That's enough. Look, this is one period length. But you could always carry on and draw as many period lengths as you want. So this is f of x is equal to cosine x. This is how we do it manually. The only important thing is that when you say this is 1 and this is minus 1, that you get the width right, more or less, the proportions right. So this should be more or less 3 times this length here, because pi is approximately 3.14. You cannot do it that accurately, but well, you can say, well, this is more or less 3 times this, and then this is more or less 6 times this, because it's 6.28. So it gives you a good overall look of your curves. Hope it wasn't too difficult. See you on the next one.